Hi, this is Charlie giving you Wednesday's update, and I wanted to do a follow-through in from last week's video because what I did about the lady who's up like £30,000, it just garnered so many inquiries really to Sam, bless her, and Sam was away in France last week, and so Sam couldn't get round to obviously replying to people while she was away all the time. Now Sam will take her computer away with her and will try to respond to people, but and that's why she's done an extension to this offer on the app and the packages that we've got at the moment. So the swing trading app. She's done another extension, I think, to the end of this week because she couldn't get round. And I literally had people emailing me saying, "Charlie, I haven't heard back from Sam. Is the deal still there?" So, anyway, it's there for you for the rest of this week. But let's talk about this lady's trading here. And last week I showed you her open positions. You can now see, I think I showed you the whole equity and stuff. So because some people were saying beforehand, oh yes, but up 30,000, but on what account? And yes, exactly. I think I said about it last week. The account's got 200,000 or so in it anyway. So yes, she's up. She's grown it to 231,000 currently, but there is 14,000 of open positions, and I'm showing you some of these open positions now. And they're all small positions relative to the size of the account. They're pretty small. So she's got what, two lots on this CAD yen, in total, because I can see she splits her entries. Half a lot on Aussie dollar, and so they're all small entries relative to the size of the account, which is really good. And you can see she's got lots of positions running. So of course, this P&L could change, but some will hit targets, some no doubt won't. But I still feel it was interesting. What's interesting here is she's just following, like I said last week, what I say in the app, and then what I also say. She does come to our MBT sessions. I do for our MBT swing traders. I do a regular webinar. Now, incidentally, I'm going to be doing a webinar for our DST people in the next week or two. So Sam's asked me for a date to do that. So I'll be doing a webinar for them as well. But the MBT people, we do something for I do a session every week because they pay for that session effectively, so they subscribe to that. But I'm not saying that you have to do that at all. But all I'm saying is that all she does, and I've noticed there's a couple more trades in here that she's done just in the last couple of days. But all she does is just follows what I'm talking about in the app or what I'm talking about in those sessions. And it's interesting that she's just doing that. And like she said, I'm not going to do anything else because, like I said last week, previously she struggled with her trading because she couldn't ever identify targets and things like that. Now don't worry, I know some of these don't have target prices against them. She's not always going to be putting a limit order in against what she's looking at straight away. I know what she's basically looking at because I know what I've been saying about some of these moves. But nevertheless, she struggled with things like targets and also even identifying setups at times. So all she's doing is this, and I just thought it was interesting to do a follow-up a week later to say, look, okay, here's where she's at a week later. She's now at 231,000 in her account there. So interesting to see how she gets on, and no doubt there will be times when she has some losses as well, but at the moment she's running quite well. So that's where she's at. But now a lot of people say, well, I can't make 31,000 or whatever from following your trades. Well, no, not necessarily. If you've got £2,000 in your trading account, you're not going to be making 31,000 on it. So that's not what this was about. I just put this out there because it was interesting to see what she had done by just literally just following all these trades. And now, to someone who's got a smaller account, they might not even be able to be in that amount of trades. Bear in mind margin requirements and all that sort of stuff, and minimum bet sizes. I don't know. On a £2,000 account, well, you can go down to 10p a point. So you probably could do a lot of them. So yeah, really interesting just to get a different perspective, for giving a different perspective for people to say, oh right, okay, this is what is the potential on some of these sorts of trades. So with regards to the app, though, we have had a lot of testimonials come in. If I actually have a look, Sam actually put an email out yesterday, and it did have the testimonials in. So these are fresh testimonials from people who have been. Now, bear in mind the app has been running since beginning of July, basically, and right at the end of June, I think it was, that we launched. I can't remember now when we actually launched, but we launched it internally first of all with some of our existing customers before we actually started promoting it to our main database so everyone could see it. So we have had people in there for a while. The app has certainly helped my confidence, taking my own trades, seeing others having similar views, also seeing setups that I wouldn't have considered my own, Steve C said. And then we've got someone else saying, it's Leo saying, since joining the app, my trading has got so much better. It's nice to be able to share ideas and connect with people with the same struggles and everything. But the main thing is trading's got so much better. That's good. This is really excellent room, etc., etc. So this is what's okay. I think I've done my own pitch for the app, but this is the vision that I've seen for this app right way back from last year when we first started looking at this. Well, I've started looking at it late last year, was that potential for people like Sam saying in her emails to, if you're time poor, or even if you just feel like, do you know what, it'd be nice to have some companionship, so to speak, within my trading, and to be able to bounce ideas off of others, not just Charlie, but there's the power of the group, then that's what it's for. Okay, so that's enough on that. You've got the details. If you're interested in the app, just email Sam at easytrader.com, and she can give you the information on that. Right. I'm actually going to do a little bit of analysis with you today because I very rarely do it. I like to on a Wednesday normally pick a topic just to chat about, and whether it's a psychological topic or whatever it might be. But I've just done 6 minutes talking about the app effectively and all of that because we've had so much interest. It's weird. You know what the shame is that I say it's a shame is that, but you get so much interest when you put something out about last week, because people are attracted to that. And yet the reality is people should be attracted to the app by itself anyway, which they are, but it's amazing how much more of an influx you get right in the final week just because you put something out about how well someone's getting on. But yeah, let's have a look at the markets, a few of the markets anyway. So I don't always do this because I leave it, I know Kim does analysis every morning anyway on a video, so I don't feel I need to do any analysis normally. But anyway, I'm going to just give you some broad brush strokes as to what I'm looking for in some of these markets. Right, dollar yen. Okay, I'm looking for a little bit of a pullback at the moment, which we are pulling back. We've had a lovely run. We're pulling back a little bit here at the moment. Looking for a bit more downside. I'd love to see, if I come out to the monthly charts, the weekly charts, sorry. I would love to see just a little bit more of a pullback towards 112, maybe a little bit sub 112. But ultimately, what I'd like to see here with the dollar yen is if I can just show you this trend line back from what's that? June 2015. This is a weekly chart here. It goes beautifully across these highs. I'm looking for the dollar yen to gradually work its way back up to this trend line. That's overall, that's the bigger picture. But in the short term, I'm looking for a bit more weakness to come in to, like I said, potentially down to sub 112. It doesn't have to, but I'd like to see a bit. That's what I'd like to see, a bit more weakness first before it resumes and then hooks back up. So that's what I'm looking for on the dollar yen. If we go to the euro dollar. The euro dollar, I'm looking in the short term for a bit more upside. So short term upside, which could take us back up to the daily 50 up here, which was at 118.46. We're currently at 117.50 odd. But up to that sort of zone would be nice. If it goes higher, so be it. Great. So short term a bit higher, but medium term, I would like to see the euro roll down a bit more. That would sit well with the dollar yen perspective. So I'm not entirely sure, again, whether that will happen as yet, but that's what I'd like. So what I would do is when I come back to the daily charts, if we do bounce some more, I wouldn't automatically just want to sell it once it bounces up to that zone, but I would be looking for reversal sort of signals once we get up there, because just to see if it then does want to roll back down. So but at the moment I think it's in potentially bounce phase, and I think we've got potentially a bit more upside here over the next week. Likewise with the Aussie dollar, actually I'm going to pick on the Aussie dollar because the Aussie dollar has had, oh, I see, it's had a nice bounce overnight and this morning. The Aussie dollar, again, similar to the euro, looking for it to come up a bit higher, but then to roll over again, because if I look at the higher time frame on the likes of the weekly chart, mind you, the weekly's come down to that 20. What was it I was looking at with the Aussie? Ah, yes, the monthly chart. I still see this potential overall for the Aussie to come a bit lower based on the monthly chart. So any bounces we're getting at the moment, I would then again be looking for signs of weakness to come back in, and for it to potentially roll over. I think that's about it. I don't want to go through too many markets. I'll tell you what, I'll give you a view on gold, oops, and then the S&P. So gold, again, it's had a lovely run down, but I'm effectively, and I'm not trading it on the downside, but I would love it to come back down to this trend line on the weekly charts. That goes all the way back to late 2015, this trend line. And if by the end of the year it can get back down to this trend line, great. One thing to notice is that if I bring up the pen, gold bottomed out December 2015, bottomed out again December 2016. Could we see gold bottoming out again in December of 2017? I don't know, but we'll have to see. But I would love to see gold at some point get back down to this trend line, and that would be where I would be wanting to scoop it up and probably buy physical as well. Mind you, physical doesn't matter. You can buy physical at any time, but I think that'd be a lovely area to buy physical as well. So that's what I'm going to be looking at on gold. And then lastly, let's have a look at the S&P, because I actually called a top in the S&P a few weeks ago when it was up here, and said, look, I think it's there or thereabouts at a top. It could go a few percent higher. I tweeted this, but I think we're there or thereabouts. Obviously, it is going a little bit higher, so maybe we do go that few percent higher. At the moment, the way that I'm looking at the S&P is, yeah, it's doing so well. Look at the monthly chart here, riding this upper trend channel line. But unfortunately, what I'm looking at is in the bigger picture, and this could take well into 2018 now, but in the bigger picture, at some point, maybe mid to late 2018, we might get a final high in. I thought it was going to happen this year, but looking at the way that the price action has been now, it's been pushed into the future, I think. So most likely. So, but at some point in the future, try and make a note of this, because at some point in the next maybe 18 months or so, I'd be looking for the S&P to work its way down to this trend line. Doesn't mean to say it can't go higher first. Anyway, food for thought there. 12 minutes in, better leave you to it. Have a great week. See you on Friday.